Hi. Thank you for attending today's reading. Let's begin. Reddit saved my life. Hey Reddit. I typed this up for an armor. But it was a dud, so I'm here now to share my story. Hope you enjoy. TW. Lots of things. This post is a wild ride. And a sorta long story. So bear with me. When I was 6 years ago, my abusive and alcoholic father died of a train accident. My earliest memory was him beating my mom until he passed out. And my mom taking care of him. This happened every day until his death. My mom couldn't leave him. She had no financial backing. And nowhere to go. The only reason she married him in the first place was for money. She accepted the abuse just so I could have a good life. His passing was sudden. Passed out on a train track. Train driver didn't slow down fast enough. You get the idea. Crazy enough. Train driver felt so bad that he tore apart a family. He killed himself 3 years later. Fast forward to about 5th grade. I was an overweight girl living with my mom. Going to a tiny Catholic school and currently in the process of losing our house. I was in a class with only 9 other people. And to say they weren't nice was an understatement. I got comments such as, "Your dad probably just killed himself to get away from you," on the daily. This is when I got into goth culture. And started cutting myself. I slit my wrists so bad. I ended up in the hospital 4 times. I cut anywhere I could. And nobody seemed to care. My mom is the type of person that doesn't believe in mental illness. And my school teachers and principal said I was being over the top. Bullying continued for 3 years. And in those 3 years, I attempted suicide 5 times. Pills. Bleach. Noose. Any way I could. I have been in and out of the ER about 10 times over my suicidal actions. Went to many therapists and doctors. And have taken many antidepressants. Nothing could stop me from trying to kill myself. I have been in multiple mental hospitals. Just made my depression worse. I have always felt like a burden to my mom. And I felt like a mistake to the world. Nothing could fix me. Nothing could make it stop. Fast forward to 8th grade. My small Catholic school closed at the end of my 7th grade year. And I was forced to change schools. We settled on a much bigger Catholic school. In the heart of the city I lived in. From the start, things were okay. We had moved 2 years prior to this. Lost our old house over not paying the bank. And downsized to a tiny apartment that my mom rents. The school year started as normal. But I was having a hard time making friends. The shy overweight girl covered in scars and wounds was having a hard time making friends. What a shock. But then, craziest thing happened. I made friends. Not at school unfortunately. But on Reddit. I started using Reddit during this time. And my life changed. I used Reddit to meet people. And to read all kinds of posts. I became used to using Reddit instead of hurting myself. And whenever I wanted to attempt suicide, I just talked to my Reddit friends and they calmed me down. I started to gain some confidence. And talk to people I went to school with. I really started to come out of my shell. Joined the volleyball team. Met people. And became a really social person. My life had changed completely. And on October 17, 18, I gave up self-harm. I stayed clean for a year and a half. I had completely changed my outlook on life. And wanted to live again. All thanks to Reddit. And the people I met on it. I wish I could say things have gotten better. But they only sort of have. During the end of 2019, I started self-harm again. I still had, and do have lots of friends. And I am a social person. But the depression is coming back. I can feel a relapse coming. But for the most part I'm clean. My mom is in a good financial shot. And I earned enough scholarships to go to a $20,000 private school for only about $700. My life is good. And I am very lucky for what I have. Currently I am writing this in bed. About to say my prayers and go to bed. My life has completely changed. And my life was saved by Reddit. My suicidal lifestyle is gone. Hopefully for good. And I have stabled myself. And am able to accomplish things I never thought I would be able to. TL. Dr. Suicidal girl changes her ways because of Reddit. And now is clean. End of story. Next story. I wish you enough. Recently I overheard a father and daughter in their last moments together at the airport. They had announced the departure. Standing near the security gate, they hugged and the father said, "I love you. And I wish you enough." The daughter replied, "Dad, our life together has been more than enough. Your love is all I ever needed. I wish you enough, too, Dad." They kissed and the daughter left. The father walked over to the window where I was seated. Standing there I could see he wanted and needed to cry. I tried not to intrude on his privacy. But he welcomed me in by asking, "Did you ever say goodbye to someone knowing it would be forever?" Single quote. "Yes, I have," I replied. "Forgive me for asking. But why is this a forever goodbye?" Single quote. "I am old. And she lives so far away. I have challenges ahead and the reality is, the next trip back will be for my funeral," he said. "When you were saying goodbye, I heard you say, 'I wish you enough.' May I ask what that means?" Single quote. He began to smile. "That's a wish that has been handed down from other generations. My parents used to say it to everyone." He paused a moment and looked up as if trying to remember it in detail. And he smiled even more. "When we said, 'I wish you enough,' we were wanting the other person to have a life filled with just enough good things to sustain them." Then turning toward me, he shared the following as if he were reciting it from memory. "I wish you enough sun to keep your attitude bright no matter how gray the day may appear. I wish you enough rain to appreciate the sun even more. I wish you enough happiness to keep your spirit alive and everlasting. I wish you enough pain so that even the smallest of joys in life may appear bigger. I wish you enough gain to satisfy your wanting. I wish you enough loss to appreciate all that you possess. I wish you enough hellos to get you through the final goodbye." He then began to cry and walked away. They say it takes a minute to find a special person, an hour to appreciate them, a day to love them, but then an entire life to forget them. Only if you wish. Send this to the people you will never forget. If you don't send it to anyone, it may mean that you are in such a hurry that you have forgotten your friends. Take time to live. To all who took the time to read this, I wish you enough. By Bob Perks. Wish it was mine, but it touched my heart and I felt compelled to share. This might be the closure that you need to find peace. It was for me. End of story. That is all for today. If you want to support my automated channel, feel free to drop a like and subscribe. See you tomorrow.